week on What's in My Kit, I'm talking to you guys about brightening your under eye or correcting your under eye. Now, I feel like for so many people, they're very intimidated when I tell them, get a peachy undertone concealer. They're like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna try that. But I promise it's the best way to correct whether you have dark circles or bags. The peachy undertone will help. I promise it eliminates it, but you're not using that by itself. You're gonna use that underneath like a highlighter or your foundation because it's just a corrective. You have to cover that as well. And that's what gives you that really like brightened under eye and like very awake look. So these products are perfect for those of you who are intimidated by the thought of like correcting your under eye with the peach and all of that, because it gives you 3 very simple steps with good quality products. So you're gonna start with anti-fatigue under eye primer. Hey, I love that Becca came out with a separate primer for your under eye because I've been kind of on the fence about primers for a while because I don't like to do them underneath my eye because I like to use a mattifying primer, and I don't want a mattifying primer underneath my eye because it just doesn't sit right. So I love that they brought in a different product that is separate for your under eyes, which I know for a lot of people just seems like, oh, it's whatever, they're trying to get more money, but it's, you know, the reason is because the skin under our eye is so much thinner that we need to be gentler, and we need gentler products under our eye if we want to stay younger and, you know, keep our eyes in the best shape. So in the video, I definitely showed it with a beauty blender. However, when I tried it with my finger, I liked the end result a little better. So just so you guys know, the primer, I would definitely just tap it on with your finger, kind of like you do an eye cream. Now back to that corrective concealing. This is the under eye brightening corrector. It's definitely a peach tone, so it's going to correct your under eyes like I said, but it's also going to brighten. So you're going to fix what's underneath and then cover it up with a highlight or your foundation to give you that brightness. And it's honestly as simple as that. I promise it's not as scary as it sounds. And then last but certainly not least, we have our under eye brightening setting powder. Now in the video, I just kind of applied it with my beauty blender when I used this before, and I like actually did like the baking method with a puff. I think I liked the way it lasted a little longer because it was really all day. My under eyes looked so good, and I think that with a puff, this works a tiny bit better, in my opinion. Watch how I use these 3 products to brighten my under eyes and just give me like a very simple, young and awake look. So first up, we have the anti-fatigue under eye primer. If you wanted, you could literally do all 3 steps with just like a regular beauty blender. I like this like smaller one because it fits a little better under my under eye. You could do brushes or whatever you want. So I'm just going to, since this is my personal, or even use your finger. It's really important to be so gentle on your under eye. Such a soft primer, and it's like moisturizes without it like getting creamy so that your makeup will still sit on. And like I do feel like it definitely brightened my under eye, actually quite a bit. So now I'm moving on to my corrector. This is, for those of you who don't know, if you want to conceal your under eye because you want to be brighter, you don't necessarily need to have like the peachish undertone. However, the difference it makes is incredible. So this is the light to medium, and it's definitely like a very light peach undertone, which is perfect because I have fairer skin. So again, you can use a brush if you'd like, but I'm actually going to use just my beauty blender again because this is my personal. It's okay to dip. Freeze! And like with everything with the beauty blender, we're bouncing and working to the inside corner here. For those of you who've never used like a peachy tone to brighten your under eye, it does look like this. This is not like, oh my gosh, it looks crazy, but you're not supposed to leave it like this. You are supposed to put something over it. This is just a corrector. Your foundation and go right over it like this. You can already see the difference with like foundation, but I like to cover it with a concealer that you're gonna highlight with. Now again, same beauty blender. And we're blending that into the inner corner as well. can see. So, you know, just that little bit of highlighter really covered all the peach tone, and it really, really brightens your under eye. Like, I don't know if you guys can tell as big of a difference on camera as I can in person, but it makes a huge difference. And the primer and the corrector are really just like blending very well together. I'm immediately going to set my under eyes using the Becca under eye setting powder. I just poured some in the cap, and then today I'm just using a beauty blender, because why not? I'm doing the whole look with it. And just same as I did everything else, I'm bouncing to really push it into my skin. Ooh, and it feels so soft and silky. They're such good quality. I think they look great, but they also feel fantastic on my skin. So.